Goes on to say, for what the law could not do in that it was weak through the flesh, God did by sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh on account of sin. Jesus came. He is the Word. The stuff that we could not do in the Old Testament, even though we had the law in the Old Testament, could not do. He came in the likeness of sinful flesh, but he didn't sin. He was able to do what many folks could not do. And as a result of being able to do it, he said, oh man, this stuff is hard. I know they can't do it on their own. And he did it 100% correct. And he said, all you gotta do is believe in who I am. Believe in what I did. He says, I'm the truth, the way, and the life. Nobody gets to the Father but through me. The way to the Father is a life in the Spirit. It's an inward life where you receive the Spirit and he begins to change you. Your whole thought process begins to transform. This is why it says in Romans 12, 1 and 2, that I don't conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of the mind. How many of you have actually held your mind in your hand? Never done that, right? So how can your hand change your mind? So in order for the mind to be changed, something has to happen on the inside of us. And then on the inside of us, our minds begin to change. It's an inward change, and then it produces an outward action. It's called fruit. The fruit of the Spirit. When you know that the Lord is in you, he's changing your mind about how you see life, even how you see yourself. See, we got to get to a place, brothers and sisters, that we're looking inwardly before we look at everybody else. We had to be intimate with God so he can show us who we are. Every situation, every encounter, every interaction is not somebody else's fault. We have to look at ourselves. And one of the things that I've learned, and I had a good conversation with someone the other day, I said, look inwardly. This is a time of self-reflection. No one has any control over our decisions. We make our decisions. So now what we have to do is we have to look at how did we make our decisions? What foundation did we launch from to make that decision? A lot of times when we're making decisions from places of insecurity, it ultimately gets us chaos. And we look at the chaos and then we say, what's wrong with them? They're causing us so much pain. Brothers and sisters, we can't make decisions from a place of pain and a place of shame. We have to make decisions from the Word, which stabilizes us in the midst of the pain and in the midst of the shame. And when we believe the Word for what it says and we study it to show ourselves approved, we can move forward boldly. Game on. Game on. Game on, brothers and sisters. See, the enemy doesn't want any of us to realize to peep his tactics out. No matter how long you've been saved, he's always going to come at your mind and tell you, nah, you don't need to tell folks about what you just stumbled over yesterday. No, you don't need to talk to anybody. You know why he wants to do that to you? Because if you keep it inside, he'll isolate you and attack your mind to the point that he's beating you down and you don't feel like you can ever recover from the one thing that you're shameful about. Many of us are walking around here in shame, but Peter says in 1 Peter 4, 1 through 5, he lets us know when we're struggling to stay away from it. And the struggle is, I see it, but I don't want it. I see it, it looks okay, I don't want it. I see it. See, when you're a slave to sin, you don't struggle with it. I know someone saying, no, Pastor, that don't seem right. Let me explain something to you. When you're a slave to sin, you don't even give it no thought. You're going to do what you want to do. You're going to do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, and God loves me too. Not many of us have been there. But when he begins to change us on the inside, I don't want that no more. I don't want those potato chips and ice cream. I don't want that chocolate. I need some vegetables. I don't want all of this stuff. Now, I'm using that, but I'm just letting you know, you begin to not want the things that cause us to stumble because we begin to look at the decisions we made and how we made them, and we begin to understand that the decisions we made came from a place that wasn't of God.
Hello, I'm Vincent J. McCaskill, Senior Pastor of By God Inspired Fellowship in South Haven. I would like to invite you to our new South Haven campus. We're located at 7065 Airways Boulevard. We're directly across from Regions Bank on Airways Boulevard at Goodman Road. I invite you and your family to come and worship with us on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. and also for our midweek service, which is called Wednesday Recharge. We begin at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you here. Welcome home.